Living paycheck to paycheck rarely ends with motivation alone. It usually ends with a system. Have you ever checked your bank account the day before payday and wondered where all the money went? Maybe your income is decent. Maybe you're responsible with bills. And yet somehow, every month seems to follow the same pattern. Money comes in, expenses pile up, unexpected costs appear, and before long, the account balance is almost empty again. Living paycheck to paycheck isn't always about low income. In many cases, it's about the absence of a system, because when money moves without structure, it tends to disappear. And if you stay with me until the end of this video, you'll understand the simple financial system that helps many people break the paycheck to paycheck cycle. Let's start with something important. Most people manage money in a very reactive way. Income arrives, bills get paid, whatever remains gets spent, and if something is left over, maybe some of it gets saved. But this system has a problem. Saving becomes the last priority. And when saving happens last, it often doesn't happen at all. The system we're going to talk about reverses this order. It's called pay yourself first. Instead of saving whatever is left after spending, you save and invest first before spending begins. Let's imagine someone earns $4,000 per month after taxes. Under the typical system, they might spend freely throughout the month and attempt to save what remains. But under the pay yourself first system, the process changes. The moment the paycheck arrives, a portion automatically moves into savings and investments. Maybe $600 goes into a retirement account. Maybe $200 goes into an emergency fund. Now the person lives on the remaining $3,200. Instead of hoping to save money, they've already done it. Now let's talk about why this works so well. Human behavior adapts quickly. When someone consistently lives on $3,200 instead of $4,000, their spending naturally adjusts. They begin thinking in terms of what's available. And because the savings happen automatically, the temptation to spend that money disappears. Automation removes the need for constant discipline. Think about it this way. If you had to decide every single day to eat breakfast, you'd eventually skip it. But because breakfast is just part of your routine, you don't think about it. The same principle applies to saving. When saving becomes a fixed part of your financial routine, something that happens before you even see the money, your brain stops treating it as a choice. Now, let's talk about another important part of the system, separate accounts. Many financially organized people use multiple accounts to create structure. One account for bills, one account for daily spending, one account for savings and investments. This separation makes it easier to track where money goes, and it reduces the risk of accidentally spending money meant for savings. For example, imagine someone transferring their monthly bill money into a dedicated account. Rent, utilities, insurance, loan payments, all covered in one place. Now they know exactly how much money remains for everyday spending. Clarity reduces financial stress. Without separate accounts, it's easy to look at your checking account balance, see $2,000, and think, I can afford this dinner out. But that $2,000 might already be spoken for by rent and utilities that haven't been paid yet. Separate accounts solve this problem by creating visible boundaries. Now, let's talk about the third part of the system, the emergency fund. Unexpected expenses are one of the biggest reasons people fall into the paycheck to paycheck cycle. Car repairs, medical bills, sudden travel. Without savings, these expenses often go on credit cards. Debt builds, financial pressure increases. An emergency fund protects against this cycle. Even a small emergency fund, $1,000 or $2,000, can absorb many unexpected costs. Over time, building 3 to 6 months of living expenses provides powerful financial stability. Let me give you a real example. Imagine your car needs a $1,200 repair. Without an emergency fund, you might put it on a credit card with 20% interest. You pay the minimum each month. Months later, you've paid $1,500 and still owe money. With a $2,000 emergency fund, you simply pay the $1,200. No interest, no stress. You rebuild the fund over the next few months. That's the difference structure makes. Now let's talk about something psychological. Living paycheck to paycheck often creates constant stress. People feel like they are always catching up, always waiting for the next paycheck. But once a system is in place, that stress decreases because money is moving with purpose. Bills are covered, savings are growing, spending has boundaries. Many people who break the cycle describe the same feeling: relief. Not because they suddenly became rich, because they stopped guessing, they stopped hoping. They started following a system that works regardless of how they feel on any given day. Now let's talk about investing. Once the system stabilizes spending and builds an emergency fund, investing becomes the next step. Investing allows money to grow through compounding. Compounding occurs when investment returns generate additional returns. For example, imagine investing $500 per month into a diversified portfolio, earning an average annual return of 8%. After 10 years, you might have around $90,000. After 20 years, about $300,000. After 30 years, over $700,000. These results happen quietly. Small contributions repeated consistently, month after month. And here's the key: you don't need to be an expert to do this. A simple low-cost index fund that tracks the broad market is enough for most people. The system doesn't require stock picking or market timing. It requires consistency. Now, imagine someone following this system for years. Savings grow automatically, investments compound, financial stress decreases. Eventually, something interesting happens. Their investments begin producing meaningful returns. Returns that may eventually cover a portion of their living expenses, and over time, financial independence becomes possible. Now, let's address something important. Breaking the paycheck to paycheck cycle doesn't require perfection. It requires structure. A simple system that directs money intentionally. Income arrives. Savings happen automatically. Bills are organized. Spending is controlled. That structure creates stability. If you're currently living paycheck to paycheck, don't try to fix everything at once. Start with one piece of the system. Maybe that's opening a separate savings account and automating a small transfer, even $50 per paycheck. Maybe that's setting up a dedicated bills account. Maybe that's saving your first $500 for emergencies. Small steps build momentum, and momentum changes behavior. Now, imagine someone implementing this system today. They begin saving first. They organize their accounts. They build an emergency fund. At first, progress may feel small, but over time, momentum builds. Savings grow. Investments expand. Financial stress decreases. Eventually, the paycheck to paycheck cycle disappears because the system has replaced chaos with structure. And the best part is that this system doesn't require complicated strategies. It simply requires consistency. Pay yourself first, automate savings, organize your accounts, allow time to strengthen your financial foundation. And over time, that simple system can transform your financial life from constant stress to lasting stability, one paycheck at a time. If you're tired of wondering where your money went, start today. Not tomorrow, not next month, today. Set up that automatic transfer, open that separate account, take the first small step. Because the system only works if you start. Thank you for watching. If this gave you a clear path forward, consider subscribing so you don't miss the next video. And I'll see you there.